Wait. Let's.
Who gives a fuck?
All right, let's do these shots real quick. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Are you wearing most of it?
Spilled it down my beer.
You're just not getting it. It's not getting better.
None of them get better.
I don't know, but I feel like it's getting worse.
Hold on, let me put this back under the ice.
Cold.
What the fuck is going on with this cooler boy?
Hello and welcome to Mastering Mediocrity Music Reviews. I'm Jeff.
I'm Ben.
And we are here to scrutinize, celebrate, and review the album by Sabaton, The Great
War.
That's too slow.
I'm sorry. The Great War. The Great War.
The Great.
The Great
You
one.
still didn't say The Great
War.
Too fast. The Great
War.
I love it. All right.
All right.
So Sabaton's The Great War.
Released July 19th, 2019.
So in the middle of COVID. No. 2020 is COVID. So that's right. Because this happens a good year. A good 9 months before COVID shuts down the world. And
had nothing to do with this album whatsoever.
No, it didn't. But I still there's all these just like COVID, pre-COVID. Are we in post-COVID? I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah.
Depends what state you're in.
I certainly hope most of us are past that.
And to that, let's take a shot to all them poor fuckers in states that are still in COVID. Yeah, fucking losers.
You gotta put it back. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Ah, you went backwards, I went forwards. It's a bit warmer now.
Touch.
I think.
Oh, butt sex.
Oh.
No spill.
I think that it's definitely gotten worse as it's gotten warmer.
They all get worse.
But
that's definitely gotten worse.
Oh, this is gonna be a long night.
All right.
It smells so bad.
Yeah.
So, Sabaton, The Great War.
I gotta be honest, I was looking forward to this album when they announced it. It's their first real concept album, or full-length concept album, obviously Heroes. That's not true at all. Careless Rex was like about the Swedish Empire and stuff, so it's not really true.
Yeah.
But it's like their first one that was like about...
Hyper-focused?
Yeah, I guess hyper-focused would be the real way
on
to
a
put it.
Period of time.
Yeah. Or a specific war or whatever.
Yeah.
Careless Rex was like the whole Swedish Empire. But, Sweden specific. Heroes was about, heroic fuckers and the, what was that one? Last Stand? Was it called The Last Stand?
You're thinking of
preceded by The
Civil
Last Stand.
War.
No,
Yeah,
The Last Stand.
Yeah, The Last Stand. Yeah, I hear you.
Their album was The Last Stand.
Yeah, no, I'm just cross-referencing Civil War.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah. So yeah, hyper-focused on a period of time, warring factions, the not necessarily heroes that arise, but superlative moments within the war itself. Initial impressions of the album.
Like
we'll
when I
go
first
back
heard
to
it?
when you first heard it. Yeah.
I was really okayed by it.
Yeah. It was a great workout album.
Yeah.
There's a lot of up-tempo stuff happening.
Yeah, high
here.
energy fucking...
For a very vast period of the album.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much like the whole thing.
It's pretty brutal. It's
Except
in
for
the
like
last four,
song. Yeah,
I think they kind of slow down a bit.
Good touch, yeah.
But I'm very for that. I think we've talked about it before, but for this album, there's a lot of good songs.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, in the discography of Sabaton, there's not particularly one that ascends.
I disagree, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, there's maybe one that I'll say is a top 10 song, but I don't want to call it a top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I have trouble
Yeah.
breaching that bridge.
Yeah. I feel the same, especially being a big Sabaton fan, where there are some deep cuts that I really enjoy that I wish they played in place of other songs. I've expressed this.
Yeah.
Probably on this channel, and I've expressed this to Sabaton themselves.
Right.
And they have responded like, "Hey, sorry, we can't."
There's just some songs that
we
people
can't cut
expect.
those 4 or 5 songs. And it's like, yeah, I know, man. That's like 25, 30 minutes of your show.
Yeah. But that's what happens when you get this amount of stardom.
Yeah.
That's what people expect. That's what they go to the show for.
I feel bad for Metallica. I see their set list that they post sometimes, and you're like, man, you've been playing the same set list
for like 30
except for
years.
like 3 or 4 songs, for like 20 years, basically. Anyway,
yeah,
go on.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So it's a great example of a lot of good songs. Still, I can't say top 10. One of them's top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I rate it lower than what a top 10 song would be, just because I think there are better. But even so, I just don't see this one standing out in the future for Sabaton. It's good. Maybe it is great, and it probably is great to a fair amount of Sabaton fans. Yeah. I consider myself a Sabaton fan as well, but like,
unfortunately, I got you into them too long ago.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case. Like when I go back and I listen to Careless Rex, like I really, really like that one. I really dig their last album. Like their last album was just fucking insane.
The War to End All Wars?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And now they're doing the tour to end all tours, which we're going to October 8th. We'll see you, Sabaton. Fuck yeah.
In Cincinnati.
Andrew J. Brady Center or something like that. Yeah. Never been to it. It'll be cool.
Yeah, that'll be my first show there too.
That last album was fucking great. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic. This one I enjoyed thoroughly, but there's not a song that just took me to the moon and back.
Let me see here. Let me pull up Spotify real quick. But like to me, this is like the first real Sabaton album that like has the current lineup, because I feel like Heroes came out 2014. Let's see. Yeah, it was The Last Stand in 2016, which I think they still had some other members.
And so then, since changed.
Yeah, and so like I think this is like the real one, the first one where like they've really, I think, solidified their group now. I think the group, the guys that they have in now is like going to be like a consistent group.
One hopes.
You hope. Tommy, their guitarist, has his own thing, like Majestica, or I think that's what they call themselves now. But they're on the festival scene and shit. So maybe they take off, but whatever. But this one felt like the first one where it was like really an attempt to do a crossover, kind of more mainstream thing, like trying to appeal to different folks. Does that make sense?
I can see that.
The Last Stand, I think, comes close. It does a Sabaton job of trying to cross over, and it has its moments too that I really enjoy. But this one has like a more mainstream appeal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but there's not any moment where they really just go pop at all.
No, I'm not saying they're going to go pop, but like...
It's hard to describe, actually, Sabaton's success.
It's like catchier. It's like less... not in your face, but it just doesn't push you.
Okay. Sabaton's success, real quick. I mean, because this music isn't played on American radio.
No, which is interesting. But in some of those European festivals, I've seen, or some of them, but like they're getting top billing now.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
They just did a show like in the last week or two, like if Metallica was playing Saturday, Sabaton was playing Friday night, headlining sort of deal.
To me, having seen them several times with you, what they did to me was just an all-out blitzkrieg. I'm gonna pull that bridge here. they just constantly tour, and they get their name out, and their energy levels at the 50-person concert and the 200-person concert and the 100 or 1,000-person concert, it's all the same. You always get Sabaton every single time, and that is amazing. I mean, they just went into that concert scene, even in America, knowing that they didn't have the fans yet, and they built themselves a fan base that is just rabid for their show.
Yeah.
I mean, when Sabaton's around, we go see them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's not a show that I've been to that is
I'm not nearly
more
as flexible
fun
this way.
it's a fucking fun show.
Yeah.
And they talk to the crowd so much. They get you into it. So many of their songs are fist pumpers. I find it interesting that there's not really any like mosh pit songs. They don't have them.
They don't have mosh pit songs, but I'm sure somebody's trying to get one going.
But we've been to the shows. That doesn't happen.
Well, now I'm sure there's probably... Well, last time there's probably not enough people to do one.
I just think it's cool that Sabaton is on the edge of thrash to a degree. They just never get there. They never exceed an energy level that makes you want to hit somebody, like Amon Amarth, or even just like the Deftones.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't get there.
Let's get into the songs. You ready?
I don't know. I kind of feel like taking a shot.
We'll do a shot. We'll do a shot after Devil Dogs.
All right. That sounds good.
All right.
All right. We'll start ourselves off with The Future of Warfare.
Okay.
Track 1.
Yep.
What did you give it?
I gave it a 7.
Okay.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a 6.5.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think it's an adequate opening. The one thing I'll say about these reviews is that they are jaded by time.
Yeah.
And so we're not able to get that new Sabaton release, fresh out of the package kind of enjoyment out of it. So, like Marcus said, if you get 3 or 4 songs out of an album that you listen to regularly, that's pretty good. And this is not one of the songs. It's still a good song. It's like a nice... It's upbeat, it's the future of warfare. It's like kind of telling the story of mechanized warfare and how World War I was the first one that like was really mechanized, and there's like this kind of really driving beat to it.
Yeah. They're building you a stage for what they're going to talk about. So with weaponized warfare, mechanized warfare, there's new elements. You have the tank, you have the turret, you have Gatling gun style things, flamethrowers are involved, airplanes are involved, which is very important. Naval warfare is also important.
Which takes you back to one of their earlier albums, Heroes, Night Witches. Check it out.
Yeah, we'll do. There's just a lot going on. There's multiple fronts of battle occurring here that
fucking World War
never happened before. I mean, like, in the past, you had some naval battles. You didn't have any airplanes involved at all up until this point, I want to say, because the closest war is probably the Spanish-American War of 1912, I want to say. We'll put it here. And that was almost all naval, is my understanding. There was a lot of pitched naval battles. But this song in particular is good. It's a great introduction.
Yeah.
I think I can actually be persuaded to go a little higher. But at a 6.5, I think I'm in a fair zone.
You're fine there.
Yeah.
That takes us to 7 Pillars of Wisdom.
Yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts first. Give me your score first, and then your thought. Or score. I'll give you my score.
8 out of 10.
I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Really?
Yep.
That's good. I mean, that's a great score.
I want to hear your reason.
I expected higher. So, to me, this one instantly opens up to, like, what I want out of Sabaton. And it's a very well-balanced Sabaton song. They give enough time for Joaquin to really spread his wings. You get to hear his vocal range. It's catchy. The story is cool, that it relates back to Lawrence of Arabia, and there's a lot of great imagery that's involved. There's a lot of provenance. I repeat that so often, but this one has provenance, and I like it, especially having seen Lawrence of Arabia, which I actually recommend everybody sees because it's a great flick. It's wild. There's moments in it that make you go, what?
Huh?
And you don't know about like historical retellings and how true they are, but apparently Lawrence of Arabia was like a sadistic homosexual. At one point, he's captured by the Ottoman Empire, and one of their like captains rapes him, and he's like cool with it. Like that's the vibe that they put. And this is filmed in like 1969 or something. Like we'll put it here, but. Yeah, pretty risque for a time.
We're gonna put some corroborating evidence here,
and it is about 3 hours long. So crazy film.
I saw it.
It's fantastic.
Never saw it.
Yeah, but tell me how you feel about this song.
I gave it, like I said, an 8.5, and I really like it. At first, I didn't really enjoy it, but then I started like listening to it and reading the words, and there are a couple of lines from it that I really like, which I was telling you about earlier, and I'll repeat them again. But it's as darkness falls and Arabia calls is one.
As the darkness falls and Arabia calls.
And then the other one is back home where a new life awaits, whispers of past, the sands of Arabia calling. And like I said, as someone who spent time near, not in the same place as Lawrence of Arabia, but
similar environment.
Same part of the world. Years of my life staring into a Middle Eastern sunset. It just like it says, it calls to you, and you're like, it's something you have to experience to know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, but it's special.
It's like one different. Of those things. That, yeah, you just are
this hyperbolic moment in your life that you experienced multiple times. Yeah. What is it? There's the dust.
Yeah, it's
the
like
haze of the sand.
The what's it called? Ambient light from like cities and stuff isn't there, so it's like the darkest, clearest nights. I've never seen so many stars.
Yeah.
The dust in the air and like it's just a haze that you can't. Not that you can't describe, because if you can imagine a haze, but it's like a sand haze that you don't get.
It's an environment that like you have to be in the middle of desert.
Yeah.
To experience.
The dark. I can't describe the darkness in some of like the remote places. Obviously,
oppressive,
some places
probably.
Yeah, almost. Like you look up and the night sky is fucking littered with stars, and you look down at your feet, and you can't see your feet.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? You're like, fuck. So it's cool. It's hard to describe. I'd say if you've got the opportunity to take a chance, go for it.
Go for it. So the one thing for me that was missing was like a fist pumping moment. It's very musical, this song, and it doesn't go.
I think it spreads its wings, but like it doesn't. It may not go to the place you want to go.
Yeah, and maybe if they did this one live, which I can't say I've heard it live, that maybe they would do something special with it.
2019. I don't think we've seen them. Since because COVID did happen, and I think we missed them on this.
I think it messed up. Why they canceled their tour? They were coming,
or like they weren't close enough. I can't remember exactly.
I think they were touring through Europe, and they were coming. We'll find out. Just another.
I don't know. How we're gonna find out.
They have it. It's out there. So before I move on is there anything else that's special about the song?
No, it's a good song. I really enjoy it.
All right.
The video has like Indy Nidell, the guy who does their Sabaton history videos. He plays Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Great connection.
Whatever. It's cool.
Yeah.
Check it out.
There's a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah, there was a car crash when they were making the video. They all got fucking hurt.
Check
it out. They're pretty good on social media. There's a video about it, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. We can go to song number 3, 82nd All the Way.
Yeah.
I gave it a 6.5. I do enjoy it. It's like a little jingoistic, but it's like pretty upbeat, pretty catchy. 82nd Airborne. I got a buddy who was in it, and so I met him through the festival scene, and so like I was like, I'm gonna send you a song. I don't think you're gonna like it, but it's about he was in the 82nd Airborne. Yeah, so it's like check it out. Yeah. He's like, oh cool. It's about fucking whatever it is. Not Audie Murphy, whoever it is. Sergeant York.
Calvin York. Yes.
So to him, I'm sure all the shit they're talking about, he's like, oh yeah, it's all the stuff like all the stuff I heard in boot camp.
So with the 80th second all the way, I like hearing about the song. It's a guy from Tennessee. He performs multiple heroic acts, and it sounds like he does it with a couple different companies. There's the 82nd and there's the 223rd.
Yeah, like it's probably one of those stories where a guy like gets shuffled around or like does a whole bunch of different things, moves around, does a bunch of different, goes to a bunch of different units. I think he was like in a couple of different wars. I don't fucking know. I wasn't in the army, bro.
Yeah, so Sergeant Alvin York from Tennessee made his name known on the 8th of October 1918 during the Meuse-Argonne offensive when he led 16 men against the German defensive machine gun nests on Hill 223, so the 2023rd. All right, so yeah, I mean, that was the big thing that he did. I mean, there was, a Gatling gun or whatever, machine guns type on top of a hill. And you see this act played out in a lot of war movies where you've got this just terrible position and there's this guy that hits the hill. It happens in Saving Private Ryan as well.
Because it happens.
And it happens
because it
happens a lot in real life.
Yeah, because it has to happen. Like there's no way
you can't go. You're not going around it. He sees you going.
Right, like where you are. They put that there because they knew you'd come that way.
It was a superior position.
And so they've got that whole fucking area fucking crossed. Like their field of fire. Like you're gonna die from fucking here to here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like there's only one way to fucking not
through it.
Yeah.
You gotta go through it.
Goddamn phone.
And it's just that moment in time where he was like, I'm gonna be the guy who does this because who else is gonna do it?
He was probably told to do it.
Yeah, probably, but he did it. So they wrote about it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's not just this one time that he does this thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are just fucking built for it, bro.
Yeah, they don't have fear. They're just
they're just
so dumb.
They're fucking crazies.
So dumb they don't even realize the situation they're in.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fair. I give it an 8.25.
Okay.
But I definitely mentioned that I could be persuaded downwards on this song. I just think it is super catchy.
Yeah. All right. You go first on song number 4, Attack of the Dead Men. Let's hear it.
This is probably my favorite song on the album. I enjoy the syncopated rhythm, I think is what it's called. It's just like this emphasis on the offbeat.
It's like a little...
And the imagery is fucking nutbags. And you were telling me a little bit of the history, and the actual song itself does a great job of describing what happens.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, they venture into no man's land between the trenches and get gassed. And they're low, or they have gas masks. They talked about the masks, and maybe it was like a first implementation of the gas mask in use, but somehow they survive this mustard gas, which is a nerve toxin, which just fucks you up. And then they get up, they rise again, and they just
attacking the dead man.
Yeah, and I guess they must have won that battle.
I doubt it.
No, you think so?
It's probably just one of those stories that we gassed these fucking dudes, and they
came back at us.
Still came at us. These fuckers are crazy. Like, these Russians are fucking nuts.
Yeah, this one is...
They died. Got up and were like, the motherland still has told me what I must do.
Oh, man. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
100 disfigured Russians coughing up blood and pieces of their own lungs surprised the Germans with a countercharge.
Yeah. Fucking nuts, dude.
These guys are literally dying and they still are fighting back. So, okay, they didn't win.
Yeah.
But the Germans were so impressed that they had to write about it.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. That's how, not to go to the next song, but that's how Devil Dogs came about, which I'll sort of...
The constant pursuit of...
No. I'll tell you about it.
Yeah, okay, fair.
That's how Devil Dogs... But Attack of the Dead Men, I gave it a 7.5. When this album first came out, I was like, man, this is almost like I think I said techno at the time, but like some, it has that digitization, as Jeff likes to say.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. Yeah.
And yeah, it's like a different song for these cats. And so at the time, I was kind of like resistant because I don't know if I just probably wasn't ready for it.
It reminds me of one of the songs from their first album that has the numbers in it, and they play against the numbers.
7734.
Yeah, there's this like dance of numbers, but they do something similar in this song with the vocal arrangements that just has this nice little dance, and it gets me like really nodding my head.
On the first album, is it like a song title?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's with numbers.
It might be 7734 or whatever. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh no, that one's from
Metalizer.
Metalizer, yeah.
Which is that's like their first album, but like, are you talking about like 40 to 1?
40 to 1, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, go back and listen to it.
But yeah, no, this one is cool. This song started growing me is when they started posting pictures of it being performed live or showing videos of it, and Joaquin is like coming out in the gas mask, spraying like the fucking gas, and it's like the smoke. It's not gas, but you know the smoke on the stage.
It's water vapor.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. And he's like, and you're just like, all right, that's pretty cool. And then you read about it, and you're like, all right, this song's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give it to you guys. But yeah.
1918.
What about
Take us back to 1918. This is when the Marines apparently got their name, the Devil Dogs.
All right, so yeah, it's like 1918, the Battle of Belleau Wood. Devil Dog is because the Germans called the Marines Teufelhunden, and that's the German name for like devil dog.
Okay.
Because they just
Hunden's like hound.
Yeah, like devil hound or whatever. Hound of the devil. Or hound
devil hounds are like a mythological beast.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it just like it comes from that battle because, you know, like the song kind of describes that they're like surrounded or, you know, constantly repelled fucking advances, German advances or whatever. And, you know, as the Marine Corps fucking lore goes, through our fucking heroism and fucking bravery and fucking you want to live forever.
Yeah.
Go get 'em American can-do spirit, whatever the fucking gender you want to fucking say. You know, we persevered and I mean, it is literally a story that is told to every Marine coming out of boot camp or in boot camp. Like, everyone that fucking steps on the yellow footprints is going to hear about the Battle of Belleau Wood.
Yeah, this is part of the warrior culture you have now joined.
Yeah.
Have pride.
Yeah.
This is what we're about.
Right.
Yeah, we're willing to make sacrifices for the battle and the war.
And it's going to be you.
It's going to be you. Like, yeah, you are the USA Marines.
Yeah.
You are the Devil Dogs. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
So what did you give this song from a ranking perspective?
I just gave it a 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it... I originally gave it a 7.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, here's the problem with the way that this song is mixed. And this is the only time I ever really get into mixing. I listen to the album typically 3 different ways. Headphones, pretty cheap, and I listen to it on my monitors. They're like studio monitor quality speakers.
The ones in the basement.
In the basement, the edifiers. Fantastic speakers, very punchy. And then I listen to it in my car, which has average speakers, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
On my headphones, this one is like straight treble. And it doesn't sound great. On the edifiers, you get a very punchy double bass.
Well, those things are full of fucking bass anyway. They're very bass heavy.
Yeah, which is weird. With the headphones I have, they're very bass sensitive too, but like the mid range gets lost, and that's where that bass is. It's more of a punchy mid range, and so on the edifiers, this song sounds great, and then it sounds pretty good in my car.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear that, like the double bass going heavy as it does in this song, it elevates the song quite a bit, and I had to give it the 7.5 because of that. Otherwise, this song's kind of kitschy. It's kind of like
Yeah,
Who it's
Rah,
like
Rah,
rah,
America.
rah, rah. Yeah.
I always wanted Sabaton to do a Marine Corps song some type. Midway gets close, but it's not really. What they're talking about the naval battle of Midway, but the Marine Corps has its own like stories about Midway, and so it's like close. So it's like, I really wish you guys do a Marine Corps song, and then they did this one, and it's like, I don't know if this is the Marine Corps song I wanted you to do.
Yeah,
It's all right.
Feels like they don't go historically in depth necessarily. It is more about the anthem side of being a Marine and a Devil Dog. Yeah, and that's why I call it kitschy.
Side,
yeah. So just give me a little bit more. Give me something that's a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
But in the history of Sabaton, that's a cool song.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So that brings us to a kind of another anthem song to a degree, but this one's about a particular person.
The Red Baron.
Yeah, and he was Russian, and he gave the...
what was this cat's name?
The Allied forces a run for their money. And I mean, I think the Red Baron is... It permeated pop culture. Snoopy flew the Red Baron, twin biplane on the top of his fucking doghouse, So for it to go to that level where it was even in American culture.
And it's a fucking frozen pizza.
The Red Baron is a fucking frozen pizza. You're absolutely right. And it's
delicious
actually a pretty
frozen
good
pizza.
Delicious frozen pizza. Yeah, like
a perfectly adequate frozen pizza.
Yeah, and it's probably an American brand. It's probably I doubt there's a Russian pizza brand.
It's from Des Moines.
So yeah, I don't know. Is that true?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll find the Red Baron maker here. Yeah, I don't know the guy's name or nothing, but I mean, he was just a dominant Skyforce. This song is nice and catchy. It's got a little bit of the Russian tone. You get a little bit of the Tetris feel at the beginning.
What was it? Johann Sebastian Bach. That's what that intro was. Is Johann Sebastian Bach.
No, really?
The song title right here. I don't know what it is. I could easily look it up, but I'm doing the shots.
Oh, get the shots done.
Because we didn't do them after fucking Devil Dogs.
The Devil Dogs, like we said. That moves us on to song number
7.
The Great... No, just
Great
War. All right.
Well, you go first.
I gave it a 7.25, but I think I'm actually lower than that.
Okay.
This song is namesake of the album, kind of ish, and they go over it. There's some feelings about what the Great War was and is from a soldier's perspective. Sabaton catchy, but is it any good? I don't know why I gave it a 7.25, to be honest.
I don't know.
When I go back, honestly, that one's probably like a 5.5.
I don't know why you're going lower with that score.
You're
going the wrong direction.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
9.5, son.
No.
Yeah. Killing
9.5?
That's what it says here, 9.5.
This song doesn't get me anywhere.
Gunner's disgusted by your scoring.
I'm sorry, Gunner. I don't know, man. What is it about the song?
Dude, it just is so fucking catchy. This is new Sabaton doing everything that new Sabaton does as good as new Sabaton does it, right? The only thing that I wish is that it was 45 seconds longer and that they went through the chorus 2 more times. And if they did that, this song might be a 10. I might give it a 10. Because right now it's only 4 minutes 28 seconds. What's another 30 seconds fucking just blasting out that chorus?
Maybe they do it in a concert?
Maybe. That'd be sweet. That's what I want. But this was the first song that you had a sneak peek of, because they had it in the background of their teaser or whatever.
They were surprised by this.
It was you could tell it was right as the guitar solo was ending and they were about to kick into the last verse. You know how they kick it up another octave or whatever. You could tell they were about to do that in the fucking clips. And you're like, oh my god, what song is that? What song is guitar?
Yeah.
But it's oh man, I'd really like to know where this is going. So there was a lot of anticipation for where this song went or what it was when it was finally released, and then when it was released, I was like,
Oh, fuck it.
yeah, like this song is exactly what I'd hoped it would be, and it does exactly what I'd hoped it would do. It just doesn't do it for as long as I'd hoped. But
my notes make perfect sense now. So I spoke from having just listened to the song, and in my notes, I'm like, I'm curious to know what Ben has for this song. Because I think, I must have been thinking like you probably were going to think this song was special. And that's because it is a very good fist pumping song.
yeah,
And you said you want it to be longer. And it is because it has that moment where you're just like, yes, let's just keep pumping our fists.
yeah, like there's a nice release. I just want the release to go just a little bit longer.
And I put that this one changes the mood of the album. Like, it's pretty intense up until this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And this one kind of draws back, gets into your fist pumping moment. It slows. It doesn't really slow down, but it's not as intense as the rest.
Yeah.
It's more inviting. So I got it, and I think that's where I was like, I don't want to give this too low of a score, and that's why I gave it a 7.25. And when you think about it, I was like, I think I'm really at a 5.5. But I net you to the 7. I expected this one to go high for you, subconsciously. I didn't really look at my notes until after I spoke. So I should have been more careful there. But that's fine. Like, I think I get it. Because Sabaton concerts are all about the fist pump. And this song does that.
Yeah.
And some of their best songs do it. I just think when you go back, like, this isn't the fist pumping song that I want to hear. I'm not saying I don't want to hear it, but like there are others before it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm a little
Like,
disappointed.
I'm gonna actually like apologize. I'm sorry I didn't get this one right.
This is one of those album namesakes that I think fucking
Work.
Deliver. You know, it may not do it as long, but like...
Hey, I gave it a 7.25. Do you want to say anything else about this one?
No. We're going to move on to song number 8. A Ghost in the Trenches.
Now I'm curious about what you feel about this one, too.
I gave it a 5. I said, man, it's fine.
I give it a 6 out of 10.
It's like, it's fine. The story's cool about a cat that like goes across fucking no man's land and...
snipes people.
And fucking smokes fucking bitches in their sleep, or fucking, you know, a ghost in the trenches, killing them in their trenches where they're fucking at. Yeah. Which is a cool story. It's just a fine song. You know, I don't want to be like at this point in the album I'm kind of past it, but we're almost done. Fields of Verdun is kind of whatever.
Yeah, I just put in for the Ghost in the Trenches. The last 45 seconds of that song raises it up. It's kind of like Carry On from the Civil War Invaders album. Like, it's fine. The last part of the Carry On song ramps up, and I just do that part. Like, you didn't have to leave it for the end, just do that throughout the song and it would have been fucking killer. But yeah, 6 out of 10. I think I could be it was a weak point in the album for sure. And then you said Fields of Verdun, or it's just whatever.
I gave it a 6.
I gave it a 7.75. I like this song.
I think the rhyming in the chorus is so silly.
No, it's not.
Fields of Verdun,
father and son,
die one by one, will be done.
Yeah,
under the gun.
I like that. It's a nice little dance. It's a slower.
I mean, I get it. I just think it's a consequence of Verdun rhyming with one and like one syllable words aren't like a bunch of fucking
father and son under the gun. There's a lot that they could pull into it.
Well, yeah. So like
it's a little forced.
It's well, not. I don't know if force is the right way to put it, but like it's
campy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. I like campy.
I do enjoy the song. Yeah. That's why it's a 6. But like,
now that you've said the lyrics, like that's where I'm like, man, yeah, it's a little
silly.
It's a little silly.
Yeah.
But that's okay because
I do enjoy it. But when I listen to it, I'm like, I'm like.
First of all, you're at the end of the album, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even if I'm like catching it on random somewhere or whatever, I'm like this. You know, I'm like this song is fine, and then the chorus comes. I'm like, this song's silly. All right, this song's okay. And it just kind of comes out in the wash.
That's fair.
You know.
I think I just liked it a little. Maybe a little bit too much.
That's fine.
Yeah. The war to end all wars.
The end of the war.
The end of the war to end all wars. the first Treaty of Versailles.
I think the intro to this song is like completely unnecessary, but I think the rest of it's pretty cool. I think it gets pretty heavy. It gets pretty epic for Sabaton. I gave it a no score, so I'd probably have to give it a 7. I didn't give In Flanders Fields a score either.
So now,
but I'd probably give it like a 7 for the real. It's not the real closing track, but the last real song.
I had notes for this song now that we've talked about it, and this one is like an attempt at a ballad.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. I think they kind of missed the mark on it. Yeah, but what I'm saying is like it feels like they're trying to go towards a Christmas truce type ish, but it's just not succeeding.
Yeah, it doesn't quite get there.
But it
doesn't quite get there as an album wrap up. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Like I give it like a 6.
Mm-hmm.
What did you give it?
I didn't give it anything. I'd probably give it like a 7.
Yeah, you got fatigued.
I do like the song. Every time I hear it, I'm like this. There's like a when they kind of come out of the chorus, or not the chorus, when they come out of the verse or end one of the lines. I just kind of like how it's kind of slow and drawn out. I enjoy it for what it is, and this seems more like what they were trying to do. I think they have a history version of the album, which probably this ties more into. But it's the same problem that the next album had, where there's like a sort of intro, a sort of outro that are sort of connected. This just comes out of nowhere.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm not super into it. As far as it's not, no one in the band is fucking, unless they're just part of the choir singing. They're not like featured, so it's not like it's like a real Sabaton song.
Yeah, I shut down when the song comes on.
For sure. Because I'm trying to work out, bruh. And I ain't working out to this sad-ass shit.
I mean, I listened to this album probably 3 times in the brief period that we had available to us. And I didn't write anything. So, that's the end of the album. What are your overall album thoughts?
Overall, I really enjoy it. Like I said, I think this is Sabaton trying to appeal to a larger audience, which I think they succeed.
I'd agree with that.
In doing, because like I said, now this was put out 2019, so 3 years ago. Now they're like headlining, like I said, headlining festivals. Really fucking, hopefully living the dream that they always wanted. So I think this is the album that opened the door, or like let them step through the door that they had opened through all their touring, like the previous basically 5, 6, 7 years. And now I think we and they are enjoying the fruits of their hard work.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's because of all that touring. They just spread the word. More and more people showed up for each show that we ended up seeing them subsequently.
Yeah,
they toured with the right people.
It's probably like 25%
headliners
more each show we'd go. There's like
maybe even more than that.
Depending
on the venue.
Each show, the Sabaton size doubled.
Yeah,
that's probably the better way to put it. Considering the last way I put it is significantly lower than the way I just described it. Like the crowd that came to see Sabaton doubled each time we went to see him.
I'm at a really weird spot for this album. If somebody said, what album should I listen to if I want to experience Sabaton? To me, it's definitely their last album and their first album. Like those are the 2 that I want people to listen to. And then I'll be like, yeah, Careless Rex, listen to that song. Tell 'Em Back for sure. Like, they're top songs. But then, it's like, this album is in a weird spot. You really like Great War.
Mm-hmm.
But is that a top 10 Sabaton song? In the scheme of things. For you, it might be.
Is it in my top 10?
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe not. Would it be in a regular Joe's top 10? Would it be... This is how I think about it. Is it, what song do I, if somebody was like, because this is how I used to, when I was finding out new bands or whatever, I'd be like, what band are you really into now? They'd say it and I'd be like, send me their most accessible song.
Hmm.
And to me, Great War might be Sabaton's most accessible song.
Yeah, I can see that. There's nothing terribly challenging about it.
No,
it's got the fist bumper,
and it gives
attitude.
it shows you, with the exception of like their earlier albums doing like kind of that more exotic sound, this gives you everything that Sabaton does.
Yeah.
Even in those earlier albums, even though it sounds completely different than what they were doing, you hear...
You say completely different, but
I mean,
most people, you're not going to... Yeah.
Right.
I get you.
Right.
Because the things that they did with solos, you now hear in Civil War for a very obvious reason.
Mm-hmm. But you hear it and you see the line or whatever.
The build-up and the topology of their music is there. But yeah, to me it's the first and the last, just because
such
extremes.
I'd rather somebody be like, give me 10 songs, and I'd be like,
all right. Oh yeah. That's the easiest way to do it. But if somebody asks for an album, the last and the first.
I'll give you something that spans their fucking... I think they've done 9 albums or whatever. So give me 12 songs and I'll start from the beginning and bring you up, hitting the highlights from all the eras.
Primo Victoria. Yeah. That's what I'm like, they gotta listen to that one.
And unfortunately, that list, if you were giving it to somebody who was like, hey, I know you really like Sabaton, give me their top 12.
Yeah.
It would include those 4 or 5 songs in the concerts that I don't want them to hear, or that I don't want to hear.
I got
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, fuck, I get it, but like,
they gotta hear it.
Yeah, but like, it'd be nice if you guys did a concert or a tour that was like deep cuts.
Yeah, like I doubt they're playing Attack of the Dead Men.
I don't know, man.
They might, but I've never heard it.
They may not put the fucking production into it that they
reasons.
do in Europe on the festival scene where they're like top billing or whatever.
They get to play for 2 hours then.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we may not get to... If we saw them, in Lexington or Cincinnati, they may not be fucking coming out with the fucking gas mask playing.
Yeah. They just don't have the crew there.
Right. They just, like, we're about to play our fucking hour 15 and then some other band's going to come on or whatever. At least that's the way it used to be. Now I think they're headlining.
Next week, we are going to do Sound and Fury, which we were supposed to do this week, but because of an EF2 tornado.
Mark wasn't able to make it. He's fine. His family and his house and everything is fine, but not far from his house,
within a mile,
got fucked up.
There are
by a tornado.
He said there are scars on the earth that will be left there for generations.
You guys were talking about that 1974 tornado. I didn't say this, but my aunt and uncle were there. Like,
mine were too.
They were like, we were like running from it. Like, I don't know if it was like literally running to their shelter or like driving.
It was a mile wide EF5 that wrecked neighborhoods and farms in Xenia, Ohio.
Yeah.
And so this guy lived through an EF2, 130 mile per hour winds, damage to schools, houses,
fire department or whatever.
He had 20 trees just on his 10-acre property. Wild shit.
Yeah. Yeah, we were supposed to do Sound and Fury, but Mark's not here.
Sturgill Simpson has an associated anime. We're going to try to aim to do that Thursday of next week. Hell yeah. Here we are.
All right, bro, let's close it out with one more shot of Russell's.
That's what we do.
Reserve Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. All right. Oh, fuck.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
I'm thinking it's too spicy now.
Yeah, I know.
If you liked what you saw here, please like, subscribe,
hit the bell,
tell Ben's parents. Love you guys.